learned from the program.
Three things I learned from the program. May I know if it's
Yes.
the concerning the topics that we
Yes,
treated
topics,
or
topics, yes, topics, yes, topics.
okay, we treated like communication, then client management principles. We treated marketing.
Okay.
Yeah,
Um.
those are the major ones I.
Okay. So I want to focus on the project management itself now in terms of methodology. You guys did
Yeah,
agile, right?
yes.
Okay. So can you just briefly tell me what the agile methodology is all about?
Um, it's just like the process we go through when we are trying to go about project management. Like maybe from initiation stage to the end result, how we go about it.
Hmm. Okay. So what's the difference between the traditional method of project management and agile?
Ah, I can't really remember.
Okay.
Let's
Margaret, can
see.
you speak?
What do you say?
No, I'm asking Margaret if Margaret can speak so that she can
Okay.
attend to the question. Hello, Margaret.
I guess she's still having network issue.
Yeah, so that means she needs to really take advantage of the recording. Okay, so before I respond to that, do you know what the traditional method of project management is?
I think the traditional method of project management is
Um, Mosinade, can you hear? Are you here?
Hello. I was speaking for a while. I guess it was my network. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
yes, I can hear you.
Okay, so sorry about that. You were saying something about the traditional. Please, come again, please.
So for the
Okay.
traditional, I don't know if it's the ITIL framework.
Okay, so the traditional is not the ITO framework. Um,
Okay.
so the traditional project management method basically is what we used to know as project management before now. So what do I mean? It has when you tell someone come and execute a project, sometimes they'll ask you first thing what is the deadline of this project, and when am I supposed to start? So I'm giving you the certain features of traditional method. So it has a start and end date. basically, right? They are starting this time and it must be completed by this particular time. And there are activities that will be carried out to ensure the complete execution of that particular project. Now, traditional method does not accommodate including extra features or additional features outside the initial agreement. So if, for example, I say you're supposed to build a particular software using traditional method, I have given you all the requirements that you need to build this particular software, right? You commence, first of all, I'll tell you, you are starting on the 25th of next month, and it's a 3 months project. You're supposed to end it within 3 months at this particular date. So if you are, just take note of certain things I'm mentioning. It's time boxed, right? So at this particular date, you must end this project, and these are the requirements. Now you start this project. Traditional method will tell you that I am not supposed to bring in any additional feature again into that project until you have completed what I asked you to do. If at all you must add another thing, I will wait for you to complete it. Once you have completed it, what I want to add will not be another project on its own. I don't know if you are following me.
Yes, I am.
Yeah, so that is what traditional project management methodology talks about. Is fixed. It has a fixed start date, a fixed end date. You cannot add processes into the flow. You can't just keep on adding processes in perpetuity. You can't just keep on adding things. It doesn't accommodate that change, right? It is fixed. And while some will tell you that it has its advantages, right, it still has its disadvantages, right? Some persons will tell you that one of the advantages is that it allows you focus on one thing at a particular time. Don't bring in any other thing. Let me focus on what I'm doing and let me finish it, right, at a particular time. Now, some other persons will tell you that that rigidity that it has it's one of its problem or limitation, right? Because at the point where you're carrying out that project, the demand of the customer might change in between, and based on what the customer wants at that point in time, I might need to include that in the project. But traditional method will not allow that to happen. At that point, by implication, what should be beneficial to the organization? I don't know if you're following me. Hello, are we together?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right. So that is the traditional. Now, but the agile now tells us that we recognize that situations can change. We recognize that environment is complex. We recognize that processes could be complex, right? So to take care of this complexity that characterizes processes, what we are going to do is that we allow our process or our project or process flow to be iterative. That's the word, right? You can add as we go. We can add as we go, and then we do the project in bits, right? The start and end date for agile is not of the entire project, it's for segments of the project. You pick a part, you make sure it is completely done to the satisfaction of the client before you continue to another part of that project. You understand? And while they
Yes.
are doing that, you are liaising with the clients to be sure that what you are producing or delivering meets the requirements or the satisfaction of that client. Traditional method will just run the whole project from A to Z and deliver to clients. And there is a possibility that you must have missed one or two features while doing that. But because you did not carry the client along from the onset, you have not delivered to the satisfaction of that client, and that is the downside of traditional, right? But the agent will tell you that as you are going each step of the way, let me hold the hand of the client, let's do it together. It's a collaboration between the clients and then the those that are handling the project, the project manager as well. You understand? So agile, it's an iterative process. It allows, it accommodates changes, right? And it helps break down complexity in that characterizes an environment or characterizes a particular project. That's basically the difference between traditional and then the agile methodology. But you know that under the agile methodology, you now have some other frameworks under the methodology. So which, can you give me an example of a framework?
IT framework.
IT framework, which is for what?
As in now,
Yeah.
it's also for project management.
Okay, so is IT framework for project management or for service management?
It's for service. Sorry, it's for service.
Mhm. So don't mix it up. So IT framework is for service management. Amen. Hello, Amen.
Yes.
All right. So that reminds me. On the curriculum, they talked about IT, right? That's
Yes.
the they talked about IT. What
Yes.
version of what version of IT is on the curriculum?
I think it's fourth, fourth,
Is what?
fourth, fourth, fourth version.
IT 4.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. Because but if it's IT 4, that means something is not what's the word now, connecting. IT 3 is the one that talks about that has those 5 stages, the design stage, and the other stages in IT 3. There are about 5 stages in IT 3, and which is what they usually report during project assistant retraining session.
Yeah.
But that is not IT 4.
Oh.
That is not IT 4. IT 4 is different. It's a bit more flexible and customer focused. That's the goal of IT 4. IT 4 is more customer centric, and it's highly flexible. It's very easy to understand. And another major difference is that for IT 4, the steps that are involved are not chronological, meaning it's not from one to one. You can jump step. You can pick from anyone at any point in time, depending on where you are in that service management. So the
Okay.
last project retraining session, I raised that issue up with those that attended, and I told them to go and read up on IT 4. I also asked the microservice owner to read up on IT 4 so that everybody can be updated, right? So you can go and look it up and confirm what I'm telling you, right? If you have any questions, still reach out to me. But if you spot the difference, please let it be reflected in the curriculum.
Okay.
All right. So that I just thought to mention that now that Mutlade mentioned IT. So Mutlade, IT is for service.
Okay.
Yeah, you are correct. And what other framework do you know?
Scrum.
Scrum framework.
Scrum
So what?
framework.
So Scrum framework is. What do you know about Scrum framework?
So we're just told to use Scrum framework, then open a Jira account to develop user stories.
Okay, you were told to use Scrum framework.
Yes.
So how did you use your Scrum framework?
I just searched online, then I was asking how to use Scrum framework to open a Jira account.
Okay, so what can you tell me? What can you tell me about Scrum?
So I'm trying to.
Yeah, I'm waiting.
I have no idea.
Okay, so do you know what the pillars of Scrum are?
No.
Okay. So that means you didn't do justice to your Scrum framework.
But we're just told to use the Scrum framework to open a Jira account on how to build NYC portal.
Okay, so did the facilitator teach about did he say anything about the Scrum framework?
I don't think we treat it as a topic. We just mentioned it. Then he said we should use the Scrum framework. So it's under project product manager tools, the tools that we use for projects or as a product manager.
Okay, so
So
when
we're
you
just
when you
talking
use
about different. Okay, I can
okay,
hear you.
so when you guys used it to open that account, did were you asked questions, further questions about the framework?
No.
So, Amen, are you seeing gaps?
So it has to go and do with about
You said?
Scrum.
I didn't get you, Amen.
I said they will have to go and do more research about the agile methodology and the Scrum framework. So they are the one that's supposed to do research about it because we don't
That
go in
I
depth.
understand. Get my point. You are still not getting my point. I understand the Montessori approach. I understand that that's what is being used. I don't have an issue with asking people to go and research. It's a very good way to learn, right? But that process will not be balanced if there is no way to check that that research was actually done. And that is the challenge we are having now. Because Mutladi focused on the assessment she was given using Scrum to open a Jira account, which is what she did and submitted. But the basics, the fundamentals, right, was not learnt or properly understood, right? So she would have properly understood it if probably she was tested or asked further questions after the research. I'm not saying the facilitator should start teaching them from A to Z. No, that is not what the academy does. The academy allows you to go and on your own research stuffs and then make sure you know them, right? So, but they need to test their knowledge that this thing was actually done. And this is the same problem we are having in the retraining session. It's from this place down to to their various departments, then to retraining session. Because if they cannot understand exactly how to use it from the Bincom academic class, how can they apply it when they are deployed to their various departments to handle various projects? And how can they present it well when they are asked certain questions during the training sessions? So you can see that all these things are linked. And if there's a problem with one aspect of the chain, it affects the whole bunch of the chain. It's a chain. Once a part of a chain is broken, there's already disconnection. That chain has been disconnected. So there is no way. We just have to ensure that everything what we are supposed to do at every point in the chain, we do it. So I'm not saying that these guys should be teaching them ABC, A to Z. No. What I'm simply asking is that once they have asked them to go for their research, there should be a way to test that these things were done, right? It's to be sure as the facilitator that I have passed across the right knowledge. Look, I've been asking a lot of questions here, and the feedback I'm really getting is not encouraging. And the facilitator is not here to defend himself or herself. I don't know if you understand, because it's one thing for a student might not be able to deliver for two reasons. It could be from the facilitator's end or from the student's end. But now the facilitator is not here for me to confirm whose end this gap is coming from. So this is why it's actually it's mandatory that these guys attend this session to the facilitators, because now I would have been speaking directly to the facilitator and not even to you, so that I will get his own point of view to understand what exactly happened during the class. Just this is just my own feedback, right? You can take it to these guys and to the facilitators, find out from them if they are really doing what they should do. If they are not testing them after this their research, they should be doing that. They should find a way to do that. If it's to include it as part of their test, their final test, fine. But they should find a way to check that this research was understood, not just la cram la pour, going to pick stuff from the internet and pasting and then submitting. Right? Do they even verify? Do they verify if some of these items were copy paste?
The facilitator actually checked their tests and assignments and grade them. So
The facilitator actually checks their.
they check the test, they check the test questions and they also grade them on LMS.
Anyway, just that's my own concern, right? Which I'm voicing out to you. you should just relay it to these guys, because I know what I'm saying when I'm saying that this thing has a way of affecting the way they deliver, and you won't blame them if the right process is not taken during their session. It's what you give them they will give out now. So you really won't blame some of all these guys, but the facilitator himself is not here for me to understand exactly what is going on, right? So, Motilade, from my conversation with you have a lot of work to do, right? Granted that you are almost rounding up this class, if not even rounding up the class already. You still have a lot of work to do. Are you still with me, Motilade?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah. So you have a lot of work to do on your own, right? Go and understand what the agile methodology is, what the Scrum framework is, how to apply it, right? Because if you understand exactly what that framework is and how it works, it makes your project easy. It delivery of your task or project easy. If you understand that framework, really, it's just spelled out. It's spelled out. Pick this, use this, pick this. This person does this. This person does this. This person does this. It's spelled out, right? So please, that's my own feedback to you, right? I'm not really happy with your delivery. um I know you can do better, right? I don't know what the problem really is, or I don't know how to face it, but your delivery, I'm not really happy with it. You have lots of work to do regarding understanding these methodologies and how to apply them, both for project and for service, right? So please, on your own, make sure you do your background assignment, right? Do your own assignment, understand these things very well. So when you are applying them to your work, you'll be applying it from the perspective of a good grounded knowledge base. You get. So yeah, that's my own feedback to you. Really, that's my final feedback to you. Margaret, can you speak now? Hello, Margaret. Okay. Amen. That's all from me. So you have to. I think you share this recording with Margaret so that she can listen to it. And Margaret, if when you are listening to this, if you have any question, feel free to reach out to Amen or any of your facilitators or anybody. Reach out and let them have your questions or concerns clarified or sorted out. Right. So Amen. That's all from me. I don't know if you have any other thing.
No, I don't have any other thing.
All right. So have a lovely rest of the day and the week ahead.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, bye.
The class is over. If you have any question, please kindly tag your facilitator on Slack. So thank you.
All right, thank you.